Okay, hello there, and this is fourth devlog of ESHRAQ. And I know it's been a while since my last update, and I realized that it's best to record a video and walk through the features and little big and small details that's been added to the work. Because if I wanted to write about it as a blog post, it would have been too much and overwhelming, honestly. So let's go. And I don't know how long it's gonna take this video, but I'll try to be short as much as I can. The first thing that has been worked on was a kind of a rework of the UI. Most of it is invisible, kind of subsystems and technical stuff in Unreal Engine, but you don't need to know about that because the aim of the devlog is not to be technical, honestly. So I added, for instance, some new kind of pages to the main menu, starting with about. That says what it does, and a link to the blog. And I like this text because it kind of captures what it is right now as a cognitive playground. And of course, this influence from Illuminationist philosophy of sorority. And we have a help page where you can see basically these inputs that are necessary to interact with the work. And I added these pages. These are very simple inputs pages, just to know. So if you're running it on your own machine and you're not familiar with the project, at least you know what's possible. So it's not just something I know in my head. It's also playable and testable by others. And we have a database. This is a very placeholder page. It's going to be worked on, but it's not a priority at the moment. But this place is going to be like an index of ESHRAQ. Every element, every module, every agent, for instance, have a page here, kind of like a wiki, where you can get to know about the toolkit of ESHRAQ. And there's a settings menu, which is nothing too fancy. It's just some graphical detail settings you can change. But this one is actually a new feature I added, cinematic mode. And we're going to stick to that for this presentation. This kind of gives a cinematic feel to the thing. We're gonna see how it works. It's very subtle, but it feels good. Yeah, so let's go to the models and see a few of them with the new changes. Of course, change the main menu design a little bit. We have same as always the different models that we can explore. And to contextualize a bit, I think I explained it before, but I can say it again if it's the first time you're watching this. So this, at the moment, I see this as a kind of like a notebook, right? So this whole ESHRAQ is like a notebook, and each of these are different notes or different sketches that you can load as a model, as a cognitive model that you can play with. So we can load getting started, which is the archive of all the modules used in ESHRAQ. This model updates over time. And yeah, it's good to start there. And this is another feature that I wrote a blog post about, the canvas. So every model that you choose, you can load it within a canvas. So that's the frame that holds this model. For now, we're going to use default. but we can change it for each level that we're going to load, because it changes the context of the model or of the simulation. So let's play. Okay, here we are in the getting started level, the model. We have, it's kind of like an archive, you know. Actually, we have a thing called asset packs in a lot of like game development toolkits that they use these asset cats as asset packs. Sorry. And even in graphic design, they use these kind of asset packs where you kind of just lay out all the assets that are available. So basically, the one of the aims of this space to be kind of like an asset pack. So it's inspired by that, kind of like an example space. Here I laid out all the materials that are added to the database of ESHRAQ. There are much more materials used in the work, but these are the ones that are kind of how do you say, it's a part of the database, so they're easier to reuse. I'll explain later the details of it, but they have more physical attributes: wood, carpet, leopard, controversial leopard texture, and a camera or a webcam module, which gives you an image of yourself. And here we have light modules. These are also new. I will show you with other agents. Here we have all the geometries or all the forms of modules that are available currently in ESHRAQ. It's not many actually, as you can see. I think it's 28 or something. In this corner there is a playground, kind of like a kids playground. We can play it around a bit. Here we have some other sketches, and here is a PCG zone. So this is a procedurally generated zone. The difference is these are all other spaces and things you see in ESHRAQ are mostly handmade, as in copy paste, so there's not much scripting going on. But this area is I use the script. It's a feature in Unreal Engine, kind of relatively new, that you can lay out objects spatially with the use of certain scripts and algorithms. So this is one of those. So it's every time you run here, you come here, this formation is going to be different. And here we have the good conveyor belts, as you can see. Yeah, I've been playing Factorio a lot lately. I mean, I'm coming back to it. I've been into it a lot during COVID, but now I'm again into it, and it's a great game. It's one of the games that I would, if I had only one game to play forever, I would choose that. But yeah, so the conveyor belt is built as kind of like a homage to Factorio, but I can imagine there's a lot of good things I can do with this as a module. And last but not least, we have agents here. Some of them are laid out here in the border of our canvas, and the clock, which is present in every canvas. If I press F, I can switch to the agent. So here we have the agent's FPS. I'm gonna grab my gun and now can shoot stuff. Of course, it's gonna shoot Red Balls. Shouldn't expect anything else. So here I'll show you what other things I can do with this shooting mechanism. But I'm gonna press F again, Now I'm the agent core. Another new change here was the sound. I just added some more kind of SFX to the project. So now the rolling has a sound depending on the speed, and jumping, and the impacts actually is different based on the material. So here glass, and here is rubber, and you can see it actually is physically correct. And so rubber is more bouncy, the friction is based on the material. And here we have concrete, sounds different. Painted concrete, mud bricks, and chrome, or kind of a metal, steel, wood, different physics, and office carpet, kind of traumatizing. Leopard skin texture, very controversial in fashion. It's good and evil at the same time. And myself, webcam module. Yeah, and some good old kind of blank. So this orange is kind of the blank material in ESHRAQ, just to as an aesthetic. And you can see here the light modules. They are quite fun to use. Cause I realize I don't have any lights around except the sun. Of course, it's always good to have the sun, but you want some modules to lit up the dark times, like when I do this. So I'm gonna now use the clock again. Oops, it's a bit tricky to jump on it. Right. Okay. So as I think I want something like a bit dusky. So let's go a bit to the. It's a bit fiddly because it's actually in reality that like this kind of dusk time is very short period relative to the 24-hour that we have per day. So you can see the effect of the light modules, pretty neat. We have the modules here again, the geometries, and the conveyor belt works as expected. So any object that is put on it starts to roll. Oopsie. So there's a bottleneck in the corners, which is interesting. It's something you don't expect unless you code it, and then you realize, shit, that's not working as I expected. But I kind of like those glitches here. Anyways, let's change to other agents. Agent Wheeler that I explained earlier about in a post. Just wants to wheel. It's quite fast. It can be fast. And yeah, just walking on my own image. The cool thing is about these agents, because they kind of interact with each other even when they're not taken over by a soul. So I can actually roll my other version, and I realize this falls a lot. So if I press R, I can respawn, reset the car, the agent wheeler. And here we have the PCG area, the procedurally generated area. I actually want to show you something because I have added a new feature for time. So if I press the arrow button up, now I'm increasing the time scale. So you can see the clouds are moving faster, and I'm also moving much faster. And I can also decrease it, of course, to become slow motion. Some pretty epic moments like this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I'm gonna press F again, show you Agent Walker. Agent Walker is, yeah, it walks as it says. Pretty slow, but you can kind of, if I press Shift, hold Shift, it takes bigger steps. Now the hack I found is you can increase the time and then walk. Kind of a good hack. Again, walking on myself. Yeah, that's the Agent Walker. Another thing that is kind of reworked is the idea of, let's reset the time to normal, of spells. So if I press C, this is the functions or the spells that you can inject or shoot at modules. And I kind of reworked the UI a bit, the aesthetics of it. The codes are red, and from now on, sort of, if we have code fragments, it's gonna be like red. So it's more kind of, yeah, some design decisions basically to have a kind of a design hierarchy within the UI. So if I press select the null spell, I can again remove modules in the word. It's a bit of a new VFX going on from the shooting mechanism, and physics works as expected. There are some new functions here. I will show you how they work. So let's switch to first person. The cool thing is, I'm gonna change the weather to the time of day to some kind of a sunset. Something like that. Kind of dramatic. So we want to see how using the first person now works with these spells. So if I select the physics or load up the physics spell, if I shoot an object, if it hits a module, it will activate, it will insert the physics into that item, as you expect from ESHRAQ spells. So now these are physically active or physical. If I press it, shoot at it again, it will have an impact. So first, you need to shoot them to kind of. It even works on the light, I guess. Yeah, works. But you can use other functions too. So wiggle, and I'm gonna wiggle everything here. So you can spam this spell on all the objects and see how it works. This one, reveal, I'm going to show you how it works with. So reveal is it's very simple actually. Every module in ESHRAQ can contain a string of text, and if I press reveal actually just reveals that note or that text that's embedded into the module. So you can see here at the top it says self-image. That's the note that is within that module. Self-image number 3. Or here, leopard, is leopards. So in a way, every module can have its own embedded note or text. What we do with that, I don't know. But it's just another thing to have. Nice to have. What else can I show you here? Yeah. There was this thing. I mean, this area. Maybe it's good to go with Agent Core at the playground is also, you know, it's like kids' playground. Oopsie, I think he fell off. So here, it's kind of hard to actually control this. Shit. I'm just gonna make it easier for myself, but it doesn't get any easier. Alright, that's it. And then here we have a rubber jump pad. It's very tricky, man. Let's see. Alright, now if we jump high and then oops, doesn't work. So you have to really fall in the middle of it. Let's see. Let's try again. Oh yeah. Yeah, now we can ascend. Oops. Yeah, did work once. Okay, so another thing I want to show is the flight function. It's kind of reworked, but this is a local one and this is a global one. So I'm going to use a global flight because it's kind of epic. So I'm going to apply on this the mirror module that applies it to every module around. So now we got almost everything is flying. And after a while, actually, this function starts to become more randomized. So now it's more kind of unified. We can see myself among those flying modules. Kind of trippy. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, actually. These are like really weird moments that can occur through these kind of interactions. And just being able to kind of do this move, something I never expected. kind of weirdly performative. It's getting harder because the randomization is kind of taking over. Now we have less rooms to kind of maneuver. Can actually stand on one of them. Oops. Yeah, it's taking Agent Walker with it. Interesting. And yeah, of course we have this guy who can come and we can still like now I'm adding physics to them. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's a mess. A mess. So yeah, this is where we ended up. Getting started. All right. Another thing was done, of course, was this page that I showed earlier in the introduction. Also a bit of a rework here. Now you can see module count, how many modules are used, and yeah, the note that is embedded in the model, so it explains what the model is. Yeah, let's go to another space, another model, and then I can explain other new features there. So I want to show you the ziggurat of ore. This is very interesting model using the Afghan desert canvas. I spent lots of hours to recreate this place, so it took a while, but I imagine it took those who built it much more hours than I did. But here we have the glorious ziggurat of ore, and I rebuilt it based on sketches and models that are existing, drawings that depict how it would have looked like. So it was found in 1850s, around 1850s in modern day Iraq. And this is how it kind of looks like after reconstruction, partially. Thanks to Saddam Hussein, he initiated the reconstruction of. He had a kind of a thing about this place, because during the Gulf War, he actually, for a while, he had his military base here. So he was he thought this ziggurat would protect him. This is a sketch. This is a really weird image of US soldiers ascending the ziggurat after the invasion of Iraq. And this ziggurat was hosting the god of moon called Sin. So, which was also representing the god of, it's kind of the city's god as well. So if we look at here, it's more information, made out of 10,000 modules. It's one of the first constructions, first cities, urban cities as well, or 4,000 years ago, Sumerians, and yeah, it was known to be one of the earliest places that was dedicated to the connection of human to the divine, to the immaterial world. So yeah, let's explore the model. We have again the first person guy, and one of our agents are on top floor, as you can see, agent core. Actually this area was not accessible by the public people. This was mostly accessible only for the, I don't know how to call them, it's like the gurus or the sages, priests, whatever in that context and that religious would have meant. So this was kind of a higher space in terms of access. It's not for everyone. So because on top of it, now we see this weird glitch that happens, which I kind of love, but sometimes too much. So in this room, if Unreal helps me to show you what it actually is. Oh yeah, now it's fixed. Oops, no. Let's zoom back and zoom back in. So this room in the top is where the god of the moon, the sin god, would have stayed. Now I can descend the ziggurat. And to show you the modules, we have the user cube is everywhere here, and these kind of stairs and these walls. And if I switch to my agent Walker, this can be actually a very sort of cinematic moment, trying to ascend the ziggurat with the agent Walker. There's something about it. I'm going to increase the time. These are moments that I kind of want to film. So yeah, I have this plan of maybe making a film, a narrative thing based in ESHRAQ, but because more and more I add these new elements to the work, the more these kind of interesting moments start to emerge. Our agent is successfully ascending the ziggurat. So now that we're here, I want to show you the feature called the soul view. It's not yet a feature, it's just an idea. What is a soul? So if I press X, here's the soul view. So basically all these agents are merely bodies, are machines that your soul can take over. So this is your soul. As a player, you have a soul, and your soul is what wanders around these agents, take them over, and can do things in the world, but in the background you have a soul. So soul view allows you to see what exists in your soul, at least the representation of it, or somewhat an hyperlink. So this conceptually and philosophically, this is a very work in progress space, and functionally as well, a big question for me. I wonder how this can work, but what I know for sure is this space, the soul view, is completely non-spatial. It shouldn't be anything like this. This is non-spatial. The soul has no space, has no part, even has no time. But anyways, for now, all I could think of was some images and some codes, text, or attributes that the soul can override. So yeah, that's soul view, and I will dedicate a lot of research on this aspect because this is very kind of work in progress and raw at the moment. But I can imagine there can be a lot of cool things can be done with the soul. So yeah, that was a thing about it. And another thing, this is fun to show, is what lies under within the ziggurat. At the moment it's kind of hollow. I'm gonna maybe we could use the null card. If I spam it, I can actually start to do some cool stuff. So now we have a pretty cool zone. Maybe we can party here. But yeah, this is what the inside of the ziggurat look like at the moment. Kind of weird. But yeah, so this is the desert canvas. What's cool about the desert is something I discovered, was that my agent core, like this agent, it just keeps rolling if I just leave it. Just keeps rolling. And these are things that I love about this emergence of these models, that how the canvas can change the whole context and experience of a model. If you left yourself idle, it would just roll along these dunes. There we go. So that's about Ziggurat of Ore. Okay, now we're gonna explore Homa's Phantom. Maybe this time in an ocean. So this is actually an earlier project I made in 2023, before doing ESHRAQ, and this was actually the work that kind of led to make ESHRAQ. And then when I made the work, I kind of brought it back into this system of ESHRAQ. So I had to migrate it back into here as a model. So basically, this is a floating kind of labyrinth house, which I wrote a blog post on my blog about the concepts of it and what's this inspired from, like the mythological Homa bird. It's also in the Persepolis, the courtyard houses in Kashan, the wind catchers. So yeah, this is now a model, and we are looking at it in the ocean canvas. And now if I take over one of my agents, I'm inside the labyrinth now. And, yeah, it's pretty different way of experiencing it. There's this courtyard. There's a car here. Now we're in the courtyard. Agent Walker. And here actually there's a cellar there. It's a kind of like a basement. But I'm gonna jump out. But I put a mirror module here just so I can show you one of the craziest things that you can do. Of course, to apply physics to this one, and be ready for low FPS. It's gonna stutter a lot. It's gonna be a big hit on my computer. Let's go. So now my FPS is dropped to maybe, I don't know, 5 per second. I mean, it's a lot to compute. It's around 7,000, I think, modules. And all of them has to be calculated in terms of physics. Every frame, that's a lot on the CPU. But it works. It's a sick event, I say, to see the same space kind of falling apart. Everything inside it. It's like a ruin. But I could have never imagined how the ruin would have looked like, as you can see here. And you can actually see the wind catchers have a bigger kind of pile here. And the agent wheeler was stuck up there, and now it's falling. Some of the modules are still flying because they had a flight function. So yeah, this is Hamas Phantom. A lot you can do here. And last but not least, I wanna show this marching agents one, because maybe we could do it at night. So this is with floodlights, so it's pretty cool. The marching agents are, so in this model there's no modules, it's just agents, but a lot of them, and they're marching like good soldiers. So you can see they're actually quite in a good sync, though there is a discontinuity here, which might be due to some delays in how they spawn, but overall it's pretty good. So we're gonna go with Agent Wheeler, see what they're doing. It's pretty quite dumb. They're just going forward. I think, of course, here there's no kind of officer to tell them what to do, but the code is telling them to just keep going forward. And in fact, if we were in the desert, these poor guys, they would just keep going forever and ever to whatever direction they're set. as an initial direction. I mean, it's kind of intimidating, but it's also kind of dumb. But isn't it? But isn't it what all the military is, basically? It's intimidating, but also kind of dumb. And yeah, we can actually do something weird with them. So I'm gonna just crash into them. Because this way I can delay their movements and therefore create some sort of chaos in their patterns. I kind of made a hole in there. This guy is kind of stuck to me. Funny is I change his direction as well. That's going that way. I can also have make a hole here, maybe, if I could penetrate from this flank. Yeah, it's such a mess. Let's see from this angle. The front row is almost 100% sync. Well done. Wow. Yeah, I see. So now we're gonna see something rather beautiful. When they reach the end of the canvas, they're gonna reach their emancipation. We are waiting for them. Just gonna come here to see their final moments as they're falling into the abyss. Oh shit, I'm falling too far. I'm falling with them. With the agents. Yeah, they go ahead with their head. That's kind of beautiful in a way. So yeah, that's what they did. They just threw themselves. Oh wow, this is, oh my god, I want to see that. This is kind of amazing. Let's go back. I'm trying to get back to the canvas without falling apart. Yeah, wow, for a while that agent was stuck to the pole of the floodlights. So that was kind of beautiful. Didn't expect that to happen. But anyway, yeah, that was the marching agents. And with that, I think that's the end of this devlog. There are some other models that has had some changes, but yeah, overall this was what's been going on, and I will probably work more on the soul aspect of the work, which is still a big mystery for me. But so yeah, that was it for today's devlog. Until next time, bye.